Hello, my name is Clive Corcoran and I am a trainer in finance and capital markets, and I thought I would just talk a little bit about the work that I do as a trainer, which I've been doing now for around 15 years. Before that, I was a practitioner. I lived on the other side of the Atlantic for more than 30 years, and I was involved in running an investment management fund and so on. And now what I focus on is training other people. I'm focused on the capital markets, and actually when this is being recorded, the activity in the capital markets is very exciting, perhaps too exciting. We've had the announcement of tariffs from the United States. The President Trump has announced these really very significant high tariffs, especially against countries like China. And we've seen some fairly remarkable moves in the capital markets. Just in the last few days, we've seen essentially a move of about negative 10–15% in equity markets. We've seen big moves in the bond market, the government bond market, and so on. So it's actually quite a fascinating time right now to be involved in these topics, and the people I'm talking to in training, for example, are finding this particular period to be especially eventful. And one of the people I'm training at the moment, for example, is a portfolio manager, and he's obviously having to be very aware, keeping an eye on what is actually happening with, say, prices of equities and bonds, because they directly impact his portfolio. Given the extreme volatility and uncertainty in the financial world at the moment, with these very dramatic moves announced by Donald Trump, which affects basically the whole world. Here in the United Kingdom, we're affected, not perhaps to the extent, certainly not to the extent of many countries, but it becomes quite critical nowadays for people who are involved in any area of finance, whether you be working in banking or insurance or a pension fund, that you understand the dynamics that are at play here, and to the maximum extent possible, understand the ways to manage the risks. I mean, if you're holding, even as a not a professional, but it's somebody who owns a portfolio themselves of equities, or is involved in a pension fund, and let's be honest, nearly everybody is, the value of these securities, these equities and bonds, which are moving rather dramatically, unfortunately, to the downside at the moment, to get a really good understanding, especially as say an investor or somebody working in the banking world, or as I said, insurance, whatever, understanding the dynamics that are at work here, knowing how to manage risk, which is really my area of specialty, or my area, becomes really quite paramount, because if you don't manage your risk properly, you can essentially lose a substantial amount of money very quickly. Obviously, the markets move up and down. Some people describe it as a roller coaster ride, which in many ways is not a bad way of thinking about it. Right now, we're definitely in the downswing on the roller coaster ride. How much longer this will continue, it remains to be seen. But the focus that I try to bring to the training I do is to explain what the dynamics are behind the behavior of asset prices like equities and bonds, and how best to try to manage the risk and mitigate the real negative implications that can arise when you do hold a large portfolio of, say, stocks and bonds and various other items.